we're back to the second league of the day. We spun the wheel and hit Infect. So this is Legacy Infect, which has a bit of a different texture than Modern Infect because with all of the counter spells and other cheap answers floating around in Legacy, you probably do need to have Daze and Force of Will. So the main deck counter spells are the primary difference between the Legacy version of Infect and the Modern version. So other than that, we have, of course, our typical Glistener Elf, Blighted Agent, and Inkmoth Nexus as our Infect creatures. Then a whole bunch of pump spells. So we've got Scale Up to become a 6/4, Vines of Vastwood, Invigorate, which is Legacy exclusive. You can cast this for free by giving your opponent 3 life. If you control a forest, target creature gets +4/+4. And and then you've got Berserk, which doubles the power of the creature and gives it trample. Although the creature will die at end of combat, but you're probably never casting Berserk unless you're just going to one-shot them for poison anyway. And then the deck used to play Snakeskin Veil, but in Wilds of Eldraine, Royal Treatment was printed, which is a strict upgrade. So it's target creature you control gains hexproof, create a Royal Roll token attached to it, which means the creature gets +1 and has Ward 1. Then you also have 4 Noble Hierarchs because they give Exalted to your Infectors and they can help to cast spells more effectively from the extra mana. Vines of Vastwood can give hexproof, sort of, or +4/+4. And then you've got Brainstorm and Ponders to help find stuff if you need it. And then, of course, Daze and Force of Will. The rest of the lands are just your stock blue-green lands, aside from the Inkmoth Nexuses, 1 copy of Wasteland, and 1 Pendelhaven to also boost your 1/1 Infectors, which is all of them. The deck obviously struggles in Bowmaster World, where they can just pay 2 mana to kill any of your guys. But we just hope to dodge Bowmaster or have spells that protect our guys from Bowmaster. In the sideboard, we've got Flusterstorm for the Storm decks, or just heavy spell decks. Hydroblast for the red decks. Surgical and Fairy Macabre for Graveyard Hate. Veil of Summer for blue and black decks. Force of Vigor for the Artifact Enchantment decks. And then we've got Meekstone, which is creatures with power 3 or greater don't untap during their controller's untap steps. So if your opponent is playing a deck filled with big, beefy creatures, you can make it so that their creatures don't untap, but your creatures are all 1/1s, so they do untap. And then Null Rod also for the Artifact decks. And that is basically Infect, so let's go ahead and jump into the second league of the day. The Modern version is my favorite deck, is my favorite Modern deck. Unfortunately, I think the Modern Infect's just getting bodied by Bowmasters and Fury right now, isn't it? Is Embiggen not on Moto yet? Is it? I'm not actually sure. The uncards are like all over the place. It's in the Pauper version? Yeah, I don't know. I looked for, lists that were 5/0 or better, and this is the one that I thought was the most recent and had the best record out of the lists that I saw. Let's see. We don't have a turn 1 Infector. We do have Double Daze and Brainstorm. We're on the draw. This doesn't seem that good. I think we want to be more proactive, so let's mull. All right, this is, obviously we're missing an Infector, but this is much better, and we can crop rotate for Inkmoth Nexus if necessary. So let's keep and put back. In this hand, probably Berserk is the card that does the least. Yeah, all right, let's put Berserk back. You don't really need Embiggen when you have Invigorate. You want your 1 mana spells to give protection. All right, well, we're playing against Delver, so this might be rough. So I can run out Noble Hierarch and maybe get Dazed, or I can just Wasteland them. This hand is really, really slow, so I think it's better to just waste them. Misty Rainforest, all right. Swings with DRC. All right, let's just play Noble. And then if they have a removal, they have removal. What can you do? Volcanic, Bolt, Surveil. Surveils away, Force of Will. Take another one from DRC. Plays another DRC. We're probably losing this. Yeah. We don't have pump spells. We don't have... All right, so let's play Trop. Let's Ponder. All right, well, I'm taking Glistener Elf. Although, I guess I can't run out Glistener Elf on this board. I need to play it next turn so that I can have Invigorate up in case I need to protect it from burn spells. I also need to not run it into a Daze. So this. Do not shuffle. And then I'll probably just cast Brainstorm at the end of their turn. Well, there's a Wasteland. I guess I'm doing it now. Brainstorm. All right, so this is a lot of lands to draw, so let's put back this, and then we'll fetch. Or do I just keep 2 fetch lands because of Brainstorm? Yeah, all right, so let's go this. And then that resolves. They still don't have Delirium, so we go to 16. So I draw fetch land. Let's fetch immediately. grab yeah, no, let's grab Forest. I don't know. Yeah, just Trop is fine. All right, Glistener Elf. They Force of Will it, exiling Murktide. Well, let's allow the Surveils to resolve. I probably have to Brainstorm in response to this because, like, if this dies, then we just have nothing going on. Actually, maybe I just Crop Rotate for Inkmoth Nexus? I'm not sure. Now let's Brainstorm. Well, we drew Force, but we don't have a blue spell for it. So, yeah, I guess the plan's to Crop Rotate for Inkmoth Nexus now. So let's put these back. And then that resolves. All right, back over to them. They still don't have Delirium. Ponder. Okay, now they do. So we're on quite the clock here. I guess it's kind of good that they are forced to attack so they can't block us. So we take Underground Sea. So it's Grixis Delver. All right, we go to 9. We're dead to a Bolt, but what can you do? So this, fetch, grabbing, I guess, another Trop. And then I need to Crop Rotate in their upkeep to give them the least ability to counter it. All right, upkeep, green, Crop Rotation, grabbing Inkmoth. I might honestly just animate and block and then invigorate because, like, I need a third pump spell in order to even kill them. Bobble, trigger, trigger. Like, the problem is I have to exactly draw a third pump spell in order for this to kill them. And if I don't, then I'm dead to the Crackback if I don't block them. Now let's go for it. Animate Bowmasters. All right. Target, invigorate this. So then Bowmasters, and then we block. We go to 5. All right. Bobble triggers, they draw a card. We drew Glistener Elf. All right, I guess I'm playing Glistener Elf and passing. Obviously, we get dazed, but this is fine. Just need to block. Polluted Delta. Another Bowmasters. Ugh. Yeah, Bowmaster land is bad news for Infect. So the problem is, if I invigorate this, then the DRC attacks me. I'm dead either way, though. Yeah, there's just no way I can come back from this. Let me think. Because this is 5 right here, so I have to block and pump. Which means there's nothing that I can draw that gets me out of this. Yeah, let's just go to the next game. All right, so Veil of Summer. The Blasts, maybe. Maybe Flusterstorm, I'm not sure. Is Meekstone even good here? No, they still have Bowmasters, and not really inclined to play Crop Rotation versus the Daze Force deck. So Hydroblast counters burn spells and kills DRC, but it doesn't kill Bowmasters or Murktide. Let's just run this. Maybe I'm supposed to cut draw spells because Bowmasters, but... Alright, we've got turn 2 Blighted with no protection or Inkmoth Nexus. Alright, so keep... I guess I'm going to go Trop and then Inkmoth Blighted. And if they want to Wasteland our Trop, that's fine. Over to them. Flooded Strand. Bobble. Bobble. It's probably better to wait so that I have 1 Daze Mana, 2 I can Vines the Blighted if necessary. So let's go Ponder. I don't think they'll Daze this, and if they do, that's fine. All right, Invigorate's good. So this, no shuffle. Play Inkmoth, pass. Fetches with Flooded, gets Underground Sea. Plays Brainstorm. I potentially have a kill here if they don't have a counter, but they probably have a counter. I think the play is play Wasteland, play Blighted Agent, and then waste their Underground Sea. Play Blighted. Force of Will, exiling Murktide. All right, well, let's still go ahead and waste their Underground Sea. They fetch Volcanic. They have Stifle. Wow. All right. I was not expecting them to have Stifle. Delta. DRC. So let's see. How many types away are they from having Delirium? They have land, instant, artifact. So they can't instant speed anything into their graveyard. They can obviously Bowmaster in response to my trying to invigorate Inkmoth. I kind of want to get more going before I just go all in. So let's just animate, attack them with Inkmoth, and then just probably don't do anything other than just hitting them. All right, animate Inkmoth, go to combat, swing. All right, 1 poison, and then over to them. Bone and fetches, Volcanic. All right, so Bowmasters, trigger. We gotta Vines it. Oh, come on. They just have everything. We probably just lose now. Like, I guess I actually have to invigorate to keep it alive, right? Yeah. So invigorate, you gain not 3. All right, no pay for days. So I guess I would have gotten in more damage if I'd invigorated. Second DRC, Brainstorm. If I'd invigorated first, I would have had to, no, because then they would have gone Bowmasters, target, and then I would have gone Vines in response, and they would have dazed that, so I would have lost everything. Now, Brainstorm's useless with Bowmasters out, or at least it's quite bad. Bobble, then they hit us for 5, we go to 15. Then Bobble draws. So this is 6, 7, 8. I go to 7, and then if I brainstorm, I go to 4. So a Misty Rainforest means I'm at 3 and I'm boltable. All right, so Trop will pass, and then we'll brainstorm on their turn after combat. So swing all. We go to 7. If they just play Murktide here, then we still lose, right? I guess Berserk can maybe get through them, but probably won't. All right, brainstorm with that on the stack. Scale up and Berserk means that Inkmoth Nexus becomes a 12 power creature, but they still just block with Murktide. So we're just dead, right? I put 2 cards back. I Veil in response to the Murktide still being here so that I can draw another card. I draw this, then I draw this, and then this is my hand. And then we just lose. Yeah, all right. On to round number 2. Again, I would not recommend anyone play this deck as long as Bowmasters is a top card in the meta, which is probably going to be forever. Is Delver this deck's worst matchup? They have creatures with flying. They've got Bowmasters, at least in the Grixis version. They've got a bunch of counters, a bunch of free counters, and instant speed removal. Seems pretty bad. All right, we're on round 2 on the draw. Let's see. I've got turn 1 Glistener Elf, but no real pump spells. I don't think I can ship this hand, though. I mean, Vines is obviously a pump spell, but we really need a second pump spell. But we've got turn 1 Elf, turn 2 Blighted Agent. Oh, Delver again. All right. Well, things are not going well. We drew another Glistener Elf. All right, play Glistener Elf, and back to them. Wasteland. All right, they Wasteland our Trop. Ponder. I'm pretty sure I'm attacking them even without a pump spell, and if they block, because I want to get rid of DRC. All right, they're going to attack us, eh? All right, well, no blocks here. Another Glistener Elf, eh? All right, let's go fetch a forest so they can't Wasteland us again. All right, let's just play another Glistener Elf. Combat. Swing. Brainstorm. So this is Rug Delver. Better for us, because we don't get Bowmastered. Misty Rainforest. Yeah, so no more attacks from them. Makes sense. Misty. So let's just go to combat, swing, and then if they block, they block. It doesn't matter. Block there. Sure. Go to damage. Sure. All right, play another Glistener Elf. Opponent fetches. Volcanic. All right, end the turn. Scalding Tarn. Well, I am perfectly content to just keep attacking them without pumping. Swing. 4 poison. All right, pass. Opponent brainstorms. Opponent fetches. Tropical Island. Ponder. I smell a Murktide. Although if they're on Rug, they may be just playing Hooting Mandrills. Well, there's Wasteland. Yeah, okay, here comes Hooting Mandrills. All right, let's fetch now. Grab Trop. Try to go to my turn. All right. Daze is a pretty good draw. So let's see. Obviously can't just attack into them for free anymore. So if I animate Inkmoth Nexus, they can Wasteland and then I can Royal Treatment it. But then I'm missing the mana to do other things. I can't just keep freely attacking them anymore. So maybe the best move is to play Blighted Agent and then just pass. All right, Blighted Agent. Force of Will, exiling Stifle. So they do have Stifle. Well, all right. There goes the Blighted. So let's just pass. Flooded Strand. Wasteland this. All right, I guess let's try crop rotating it. Grab another Inkmoth. No attacks from the Mandrills. Ooh, we drew Force of Will. All right, so let's go. So the roll token falls off when this reverts to a land, right? All right, well, animate Inkmoth. Actually, so if I attack and they block, then I can kicker Vines on one of them to at least get Mandrills off the board. Or I can just kicker the other one and put them to 9 poison and then they're dead to Inkmoth Nexus. Obviously, depending on whatever interaction they have. All right, let's do that. Swing with both. Block. Let's kick the other one. Bolt. Force it back. All right, so they go to 9 poison and they're dead to Inkmoth. And we can Royal Treatment the Inkmoth as well. They have Murktide and Mandrills. They have both of them. All right. Well, here's another Inkmoth, so they've got 1 turn. Although we don't have the mana to activate both and have Royal Treatment up. DRC, which does not have Delirium. All right, let's just play Blighted. Blighted gets through all of this. Ponder. Surveil. They kept it on top. All right. We won that game. So once again, just brings Veil in and take out crop rotation, probably. Is Flusterstorm good here? It's basically a way to keep our guys alive, right? I'm going to chop 2 of these Ponders. Let's see. Only 1 land and it can get Wastelanded. Although we do have Noble Hierarch. All right, I'll keep this. Bobble. They targeted us with the Bobble. All right, Bobble trigger. Plays Volcanic. All right, Trop, play Noble. No Bolt on this either. All right, we're doing all right. Well, there's Wasteland. That's unfortunate. And yeah, that's what I was afraid of. But oh well, what can you do? All right, we have to draw a land. We didn't draw a land. Back to them. DRC, another wasteland as well. All right, draw land. Nope. So hypothetically, we could win this game, but let's just concede and go into game 3. We have no Infector in hand. No, yeah, I guess we have Brainstorm to maybe find something. All right, okay. We just have to find one Infector off the Brainstorm. And then we've got Scale Up, Invigorate with Force backup. I like how you play 0 Delver with decks with great Delver matchups, then 2 Delver in a row with a deck with great combo matchups. It is what it is. There's obviously an argument for brainstorming on our turn to get around Daze, but if they want to Daze a Brainstorm, that's fine. I guess we can also Daze them back if it comes to it. All right, EOT, Brainstorm. All right, so what am I putting back here? I kind of want all of these cards, so let's do this, and then draw them. So play this, play Glistener Elf, play Noble, and now we're pretty well set up for next turn. So next turn, we've got the mana to pay for Daze. We have our own Daze / Force of Will. Well, there's Wasteland. End of the festivities. I guess I'm going to force that. And they're forcing back. All right, well, we've got to keep Glistener Elf alive, so let's invigorate Glistener Elf. All right, then all the stack resolves, and we lose our Noble Hierarch. They wasteland us. All right, let's make sure we can pay for Daze. Cast, Scale Up, go to combat, swing. All right, let's fetch now to play around Stifle, and over to them. 6 poison, but we have no cards left in our hand. Bolt. All right, well, that's that. And back to them. And back to us. All right, and back to them. Ponder. They're missing cards here, so let's actually just fluster this. They've just spent the past bunch of turns doing nothing. Yeah, all right. Once again, let's play around Stifle. Over to them. Finally drew their second land. And here comes up the Beanstalk. All right. Vines of Astwood. Back to them. Hooting Mandrills into drawing an extra card with Beanstalk. I can't imagine that we win this game. Like, it's impossible, right? Here's a Glistener Elf. No attacks from them. Back to us. All right, we've got double Vines. So if we attack, they block, and then we're forced to kick Vines, and then they interact, and then we're forced to Vines back. So let's just keep passing. Bolt. Vines. All right. Plays a Volcanic. And the game of chicken continues. Oh, they're going to attack us. All right, no blocks. So they have another creature. No, they don't. They just have multiple interaction pieces. All right, go to combat, swing. All right, 7 poison, play another elf. Back to them. Brazen Borrower, not even petty thefting it. They're going to just try to race us, I guess. All right, swing with both. Very well, no blocks. We'll go to 5. Tries to bolt us. Are we just dead to 2 bolts? Yep, all right. Round 3. Round 3, we're on the play. We do have Ponders to find stuff. All right, I'll keep. So Heath, Fetch, Tropical Island, Ponder, Brainstorm, Crop, Windswept Heath. I would like to get rid of the crop rotation that's in my hand. So let's go this, no shuffle, draw the Brainstorm, pass to them. And then worst case scenario, I can just crop for Inkmoth. Mountain with no other play. It's either Goblins or Prison, probably. All right, so Brainstorm. All right, there's Inkmoth Nexus. So I don't need the crop rotations anymore in that case. So let's put both of those back. Although I guess I'm playing Inkmoth this turn. So I will draw one of them. All right, put those back. Play Inkmoth. And over to them. Island. Exile. Oh, it's Rhinos. Anything different here? No? Typical stuff? All right. We got to force that. Hit this. And then we probably need to keep Ponder. So let's get rid of this Force of Will. And they force us back. All right. So we're on a very fast clock here. I do need to fetch so I don't draw another crop rotation, right? So fetch, and then just animate, scale this up, and then just try to find more pumps. So animate, scale up, go to combat, swing. All right, we have to find another pump spell. Tropical Island, we take 10 here, go to 7. There's Vines of Vastwood. So if they have interaction, they've got interaction. Animate Inkmoth, go to combat, swing. They're going to flash in Brazen Borrower. Oh, then they block, and then we're dead on the backswing, unless I what? No, we're just dead on the backswing, period. There's nothing I can draw that would make it so that I'm not dead on the backswing. All right, well, we lose. So, let's see. We definitely want Flusterstorm. Is Meekstone good? I guess it is. And Veil of Summer. Let's see. Let's cut crop rotation, Ponder. I think that's fine. Oh, I need to cut one more thing. Unless Meekstone's not good here. The thing is, like, they can go spin Rhinos, hit you, and then they can just spin Rhinos again. Like, the Meekstone won't keep them down forever. They also just have Brazen Borrowers to bounce this. Yeah, all right, let's not bother with that. So just these. All right, this is good. Keep. Obviously, it has too many lands, but we've got access to being able to do stuff. So fetch, drop, play Noble, over to them. Wooded Foothills, Druid Days. All right, so let's play Inkmoth, and then I guess I'm attacking them with Noble. Yeah, Exalted, they go to 19. I can't imagine I'm going to need to use the mana for it, so opponent fetches, grabs a Volcanic, Wooded Foothills. All right. Ooh, Blighted Agent as well. So, okay, let's play so let's animate this with the Noble, play a second Inkmoth, go to combat, swing, Exalted trigger, opponent fetches, grabs a Trop, red and green, fire, ice, both of these. All right, Invigorate in response. So Invigorate the Inkmoth. They're going to force it. All right, well, let's Daze the Force. Cast Dazing the Force. All right, Invigorate. I can allow this to go away to get more damage in. So 6 poison, and then it's back to them. Misty Rainforest. All right, Cascade time. If they Cascade, I guess that's fine. Yeah. Shardless Agent, revealing a whole bunch of stuff, including Blood Moon. Well, Misty, fetch. Let's just animate both of them, I guess. Animate, go to combat, swing with both. And then the next turn, it's just animate, swing with both, which fails against any interaction. So we take 10 here and go to 8. Okay, Veil of Summer is at least... Veil of Summer doesn't protect from Fire Ice, but it does protect from other things. So let's fetch, animate, go to combat, and swing. And there's fire, and so we lose the game. All right, on to round 4. I didn't have high hopes for Infect going into this, and my lack of hopes have been proven correct. All right, we're on the draw for round 4. This hand is not great. 4 lands is more lands than we want, and we don't have another pump spell. And we're on the draw. Yeah, let's mold this. This hand's also not great, but it's better than going to 5. So keep, put back a Brainstorm, Underground Sea, Ponder. Well, yet another interactive matchup's not a good sign. Let's Brainstorm on their upkeep, because they could be a Bowmaster deck. So, all right, Brainstorm. All right, Crop Rotation's the card I want the least, so let's put that back, and let's put back Vines that we're going to draw. All right, Cycle Troll. So it's probably Dimir Tempo. Grabs an Underground Sea. Reanimate the Troll. Okay, we probably have to try to counter that. So force the Reanimate, and they're going to force back, pitching, Brainstorm. All right, well, all of that happens. So then the Reanimate resolves. They get a Troll. I don't want to draw Crop Rotation, but I do need to get Inkmoth Nexus on board. So let's see. If I put Inkmoth Nexus on the board right now, then next turn I can go Animate, Attack, Invigorate, Berserk, and if they don't have an answer, they die. It gives them the least time to have an answer, so let's go for it. All right, we get hit by the Troll and go to 13. Oh, they have Wasteland? God damn. Okay, so I can Vines this, so let's go Animate with its own ability, and then Vines it. All right, so Wasteland fizzles. All right, fetch. Let's go all in here. Animate, go to combat, swing, Invigorate, Berserk, damage. Oh my gosh, we won that. Okay, so Dimir Tempo, Veil, Flusterstorm. I don't think I want Graveyard Hate for their Reanimate plan, because that's not their primary plan. Although they could just be straight up Reanimator, but I think they're probably Tempo. I don't know. Either way, these are good against both. So let's cut the... Maybe I'll just cut all the Brainstorms, because it's like so bad to use these when Bowmasters is around. Crop Rotation also kind of sucks. All right, let's do that. And Meekstone, nah. All right, game 2 on the draw. This is fine. Infector into Infector with pump spells and protection spells. Polluted Delta. All right, Trop, Glistener Elf. This is a turn 2 kill if they don't interact with it. It's a turn 2 kill with Vines protection, because we can go Scale Up, Vines, Invigorate, Snuff Out. All right, well, Snuff Out's good. And we're getting Wastelanded. Well, Pendlehaven, pass. Second Underground Sea. Another Force of Will. All right, back to them. And looks like they're not doing anything, so then it's going to be back to us, I guess, maybe. All right, Inkmoth, pass to them. Grief, Evoking, Exiling, Reanimate. I mean, okay, that resolves. What do you take? We have double Vines and double Force of Will. Takes one of the Force of Wills. Cast Reanimate on it. I guess I should probably try to force that. It's like, they get to take a card from me anyway, which could be Force anyway. So, yeah, force it. Get rid of Blighted Agent. All right, play Noble Hierarch. I can't even Invigorate. I don't have a Forest. I can't Invigorate. I'm probably not animating this until I have protection for it anyway. So, well, there's Bowmasters, and we can't do anything. Yep. Bowmasters, this dies. Still not drawing a land. This is just awful. All right, well, I'm not doing anything else anyway, so let's animate Inkmoth. Go to combat. Swing. All right, they have one measly poison. Brainstorm. And then attack us. We go to 17. Oh, there's a land. So animate, go to combat, swing. And back to them. We take 2 from the orcs, go to 15, and back to us. Man, really, really need to draw a forest. Playing noble here is just like, all right, animate. No, let's play noble. Animate, tempt to go to combat, exalted trigger, and there's the second bowmasters. Opponent attacks, we do not block and go to 11. Why would you hold 1 back? Inkmoth has flying. Like, I don't understand why you'd hold 1 back. All right, please draw land. Oh my god. All right, well, play another noble. And I don't think I'm animating this, because if I animate it and it dies, then we're just blown the hell out. So let's just pass to them. Ponder. So they play another Underground Sea, and then I have no idea why they're holding one of the Bowmasters back. It just makes no sense to me. All right, we take 3, go to 9. Can we draw a land? All right, good. Fetch, forest, animate Inkmoth. So I'm pretty sure we just win this now. So scale up is, this is 7, and then invigorate kills them. So scale up. We've got invigorate, and then we've got double vines. Swing, also the exalted triggers. So, all right, 8 poison coming your way. Dress down. Oh my god, really? So that's why they were holding 1 back, so that they could block a flyer? All right, dress down. Chump block, sure. Well, we've still got what? Invigorate is 5, 6, 7. So if we activate Pendelhaven, we can get it up to lethal. Opponent plays a swamp. Reanimate Bowmasters. Okay. Targeting one of these. Owl vines it. All right, Bowmaster trigger fizzles. And they attack for 3. We go to 5. All right, so let me think. So it's animate Inkmoth, Pendelhaven. And then we have 2 mana left over, which we can use for invigorate and vines. All right, so animate Pendelhaven, then go to combat. Swing with the Inkmoth, trigger exalted. Cast Shieldred's Edict. Each opponent sacks a non-token creature. Okay, I'll just sack the noble that's tapped. Blocks. Cast invigorate. All right, we did it. We actually won a match. Let's see if we can at least go 2 and 3. Hey there, love the amazing content you've been creating. Thank you, Shenmue. Streams, non-stream videos, or both. I've been subscribed to your YouTube channel since the very first deck guides. All the way back when the first one was Amulet Titan, eh? I believe that was even pre-Urza Saga, right? All right, let's see. Round 5, and we're on the draw. We've got Inkmoth, Wasteland, Forest, Scale Up, Pendelhaven. This is acceptable, I think. What's your favorite Legacy deck that I've played so far, or just an overall? Vault of Whispers. Okay, so it's Helm or Storm. It may be correct actually just to Wasteland this. Ooh, Berserk. Okay, let me think. So I go fetch Trop, have Daze and Force of Will open, play Nexus, and then no, I'm a turn. I can only go off on turn 4. So that being the case, I may as well Wasteland this, I think. All right, so let's play Wasteland and then Wasteland them in upkeep. Get rid of Vault. Overall, in terms of the current meta and overall in general, just curious. Probably either Mono Black Helm or Abs and Depths. Do they just not have a land? Chrome Mox. All right. Exiling Beseech the Mirror. Mox Opal. So this is probably Storm. Dark Ritual. Cabal Ritual. Beseech. Yeah, all right. Force. And now they basically just lose the game. Yep. So it is Storm. So I'm going to want Flusterstorm, Veil to protect from hand disruption maybe, Null Rod to stop their artifact mana, Surgical and Fairy Macabre possible because they do use Gaia's Will, so it's potential that we want this. I guess Force of Vigor can also blow up Vault of Whispers and other things, so these are all potentially useful. So then the question is basically like what's not useful, and what's not useful is Crop Rotation. I don't actually need any of the Protect My Creature spells because they're probably not interacting very much. So that means Vines out, Royal Treatment out. But obviously I still want my counter spells. I still want all my Infectors. I still want Brainstorm and Ponder because I need a certain amount of blue spells for Force and I need a certain amount of card drawing to find all the rest of this stuff. So what does that leave? Noble's also good to play on turn 1 to get a bunch of mana going. So maybe like Blighted Agent because it's the slowest Infector and they're not blocking anyway. Like, we don't actually have to kill them super fast. We just have to prevent them from winning. Although Blighted Agent is a blue spell for Force of Will. I'm going to try cutting these. I see a bunch of comments in the chat. I do need to concentrate right now to win this. But we're on round 5, so as soon as I finish, or there's a lull, I'll read. So we've got Force of Vigor, which we can interact with their artifact, mana, and Surgical. And we have turn 1 Infector. This is fine. Vault of Whispers. Duress. I could force this, but I don't think it's worth it. Yeah, Duress resolves. They took Brainstorm. Ooh, we drew Fairy Macabre. All right, I think it's probably... Force of Vigor is pretty good, but We have double artifact stuff to counter Gaia's Will stuff. All right, let's get Glistener Elf out. They also don't know that I didn't draw another green card, so they do kind of have to play around Force of Vigor to some degree. Dark Ritual, Duress. I could Surgical the Dark Ritual right now. That seems decent. All right, let's Surgical Dark Ritual. Cast another Dark Ritual in response. All right. So their hand's LED Infernal Tutor. So exile the rest of these rituals out of their deck. What else is in their deck? Burning Wish, Gaia's Will. They brought in Haywire Might. Wait, they brought in Haywire Might? Why? So Tendrils, Urza Saga, Burning Wish. Okay. Then get rid of the last one. So then they Duress the Force of Vigor out of our hand. And then it's LED, Infernal Tutor, hold priority, crack LED. So now they know that we have a Fairy Macabre. All right, LED, Infernal Tutor. So for black, so they're going to go grab Beseech. So it's going to be Beseech, eat the Vault of Whispers. And then what, though? They can Tendrils for a lot, but they can't actually kill us. They can go Infernal, Beseech, and then Beseech for Tendrils. And that is, so Beseech 7, Tendrils 8. So it's 16, and we're left at 2. Or they can Beseech for what? Because they can't Burning Wish here. So Beseech resolves. If they Gaia's Will, then I just eat LED out of their graveyard. Tendrils. All right. Bam, bunch of copies. And then we'll survive at 2. And the fact that they're gaining a bunch of life doesn't matter because we're Infect. So now we have to kill them before they can rebuild. All right. Fetch, Trop, Ponder. This is not good, right? Yeah, that's not good. Let's shuffle. All right. Invigorate is good. So combat, swing. I'm not doing it now because I could draw like Berserk, which would be relevant. Swamp. All right. Back to us. Drew Force of Will. Combat. Swing here. 2 poison. Plays City of Traders. All right. Another Ink Moth. So animate. Play another one. Go to combat. Swing. All right. They're on a 2-turn clock. Oh no, they're dead. All right. Animate. Animate. Go to combat. Swing. All right. Invigorate. Here. Here. Invigorate. Here. Here. And that's lethal. All right, 2 and 3 with Infect. So I think this deck has major problems now in Legacy. There's too many cheaper answers to things and too many better tempo decks. In particular, having like bad Delver matchups is a problem. It feels like any sort of interactive matchup, the deck is just incredibly flawed. I think it may just be fundamentally misbuilt. First of all, I feel like Vines kind of sucks. In basically almost all of those matchups, I was never casting it with Kicker. I think you want to just, and I think maybe just the whole plan of like having cantrips and forced days is just not even worth it. I feel like you just want to be all in on just trying to kill your opponent as fast as possible. So just like jam, force scale up, just the most efficient 1 mana pump spells as possible. And then if your opponent, because like this deck is already bad against the interactive decks, right? So just go all in and try to beat the combo decks. And then if you play against an interactive deck, then sideboard accordingly. So the deck should probably be playing like Embiggen, Force Scale Ups, etc. Also, Crop Rotation kind of just sucks. I don't know why that's even in here. Is it just so that you can grab Wasteland sometimes? Because that seems really bad. So yeah, and then Meekstone also, I think Meekstone kind of sucks too. Like, it's only good when your opponent's creatures are big, but not so big that getting hit by one of them is a big problem. And then just the problem is like, okay, so like against Rhinos, for example, right? Even if you tap down 2 of their Rhinos, that means they already did 8 damage to you, and then they just play more Rhinos and kill you. Or against like Murktide or Hooting Mandrills or whatever, they hit you, you take a ton of damage, and then they can just play another threat. So it just doesn't feel very good. You're almost better off like, I don't know, maybe playing like Ensnaring Bridge or something at that point. Anyway, that is the end of Infect. I think the newer Legolas card that is hexproof plus functional removal will be a good addition, but mostly too many good removals. Yeah, like we played what? Delver, Dimir Tempo, Storm. What was the 5th deck we played? It just felt like, oh, and Rhinos. It just felt like such an uphill battle anytime we were playing against an interactive deck. And also, Bowmasters just absolutely crushes this deck. It's basically a it's a card positive way of dealing with every single one of our creatures, and then we can't even ponder a Brainstorm after it's on the battlefield. With Bowmasters being a significant representation of the field, it just feels like this deck is not viable anymore, or it needs to go back to the drawing board and significantly reconfigure what it's doing. Like, again, cut just all of these cards. Like, all of these cards feel bad.